Now, the crash of Rishabh Pant, his car which crashed into a divider, has lit the car up in flames. We're going to take you through the moments before the car crash to give you an understanding on what really happened, how bad is the situation. Of course, just to a quick update here is that Rishabh Pant is doing all right. His condition is stable at this point, is what the doctor says. But let me take you through really the moments before the crash. From what we know, Rishabh Pant was driving a Mercedes AMG GLE 43. This is a superior quality car, but also at the same time he was driving on top speed. This is what the police suspect. Now the car collides into the divider and literally flies across the highway. That's what's happened. It moves from one end to the other towards oncoming traffic, and that's where the car went up in flames. Now, what was the reason for the car to really go up in flames? Initial suspicion here is that all that spark that was ignited because of the car flying from one end to the other, that's what led to the fuel tank opening up or bursting open, and that's why the car has gone up in flames. Precisely what the investigation now is also going into, about whether or not the sparks that was ignited post the crash indeed sent the car up in flames. Now, this car has about 7 airbags which all popped out in time, and that was one of the reasons to why Rishabh Pant's life was safe. Rishabh himself is said to have broken open the windshield to escape from that burning car. One can only imagine those moments when he felt trapped in a car, literally was forced to break open the window to escape the car that was all up in flames. And moments after the car, that he actually exited the car, that's when the car burst in fire. Thankfully, just about 15 minutes later, the ambulance arrived, but Rishabh Pant was spotted soon after the accident, profusely bleeding with several burn injuries and wounded. He was stable but severely wounded. Now, I'm going to cut across to Nikhil Naz, India Today's sports editor, who's been very closely following Rishabh Pant's case at this point. Nikhil, thank you for joining us. And from what we see here, Rishabh Pant was in top speed. That's what most of the experts say, because for a Mercedes car of this nature, a premium car, to actually go up in flames, what could have really possibly happened? Would you be able to tell us what's the speculation at this point in time while Rishabh is recovering at the hospital?
Well, Nabila, let's now, put forward the facts. And these are just facts, not speculation. This is not conjecture. So what is the first thing that we've been able to establish looking at that CCTV footage is that he was driving in excess speed. You can see those visuals very clearly, where you can see the car flying around. Typically on Indian roads, even if you're driving on highway, there is a speed limit of, let's say, 60 kilometers or at best 80 kilometers per hour. Clearly, those visuals are very evident. They show you that he was driving at a very high speed. That's the first thing that you can establish. The second thing, what we're getting to know, and that is something that still needs to be ascertained, is that Rishabh Pant, by his own admission, told the cops, and this is what we're getting to hear from our sources in the police, that by his own admission, he said that he had dozed off while driving that late at night. But this still needs to be ascertained, but clearly there is negligence there on that part.
Nikhil, we have some big breaking news coming in on the same. I'm going to cut you short on that. We'll come back to you, but here's a big update on Rishabh Pant's health condition. Sources tell India Today that Rishabh Pant has now been admitted to the ICU. He is absolutely fine, though. There are no panic alarms here, but the doctors do not want to take a risk with Rishabh Pant's health, and that's why he's now moved to the ICU. Rishabh's treatment is going good, is what the doctors say. So far, no questions on his shifting. Of course, Rishabh's mother is there. She's satisfied with all the treatment that's currently underway. BCCI may also release a new health bulletin in about an hour's time. Rishabh Pant right now is at the Max Hospital, Dehradun. Max head office in Delhi is now in touch with the mother, doctors, as well as the BCCI. It's important to know how Rishabh Pant is currently doing. He is a star cricketer for the Indian cricket team, has won laurels for India. Really someone that the entire country is praying for. At this point, he is in the ICU, but let's not create panic. He is stable. His situation is fine, is what the doctors say. This is only as precautionary measure. He's been moved to the ICU. Yes, he's got some severe burn injuries on his back, and that's the images that you see there of Rishabh Pant. His back that was also charred because of the car going up in flames. So Rishabh Pant did face burn injuries. He has a ligament tear. He's hurt his ankle, his wrist, his toe. But still the situation at this point remains stable. He's only moved to the ICU as precautionary measure, but doctors saying nothing to worry. The best of treatment will be given to Rishabh Pant. His parents are currently at the hospital and all the doctors are in touch with the BCCI as well as the family members of Rishabh Pant at this point.